The goal of this video is to send conversions from a Shopify e-commerce store into Google Ads. For example, we have our purchases, begin checkout, add to cart, all those conversions we want to send to Google Ads, but we want to send them just like I have them here in this example. Purchase has 20 conversions and then about 10,000 in conversion value. So we're going to send values, not just conversion events, over, meaning if someone pays for a $20 item on your website, $20 of value is going to be sent into this conversion value column. What about these other rows of conversions? Begin checkout, that one has 0 in the conversions column, and that's what we want because we want to see begin checkout conversions, but we don't want to calculate them in the conversion metrics because you can see over in my all conversion value column, there's $20,000 worth of begin checkout conversions. But since those are not actual purchases, we don't really want to send them to Google Ads because then Google Ads will add those to the total conversion value that it's calculating, and your ROAS numbers, that is your return on ad spend numbers, will look really high. But this is the ideal setup because we have conversions filled out and then all conversions is also filled out. But all conversions won't affect the AI bidding. Only data in the conversions and conversion value columns will affect the AI bidding. All conversion value, those are for observation only. So this is what we want. And we'll end with this setup after this video is through. It should take about 5 minutes. It's quite fast. We're going to have purchase, begin checkout, add to cart, etc. All of these conversions. So let's jump over to our demo shop and I'll show you how to start. We're going to add the Google and YouTube sales channel, which it's not an app, it's a sales channel, and it's free and it's developed and supported by Google. It works much better than it did in years past. So if you tried this in years past and it wasn't working well, you can try it again now in 2026 and it's going to do everything that we need it to do. So I'll click install here and then I'll allow it to have access to all these things and I'll click install again. All right, so now it's installed in our demo shop and I'm going to click connect to Google account, but importantly, note that I'm logged in with Austin at PPC for Everyone. And when I go to connect this Google account, that Google account has Austin at PPC for Everyone as an admin in it. So if you go to your Google Ads account, admin, access, and security, you can check to see who is the admin. So there's me again, and that's correct. Now, a side note, if I were a manager and not an admin, that actually would not allow me to connect to the app. So you have to be an admin here. All right, so let's go back. I'll click connect. And then if you're faced with the brand account selection, just choose the one that has your email in it. It wouldn't be a good idea to choose this one because it'll make things complicated in the future. So you might not even see that, but if you do see this, just choose the one that has your email. Okay. Now, if you have a Merchant Center account already, you'll see it in the drop-down list, but you'll only see it if you're also an admin in Merchant Center. So let me show you that. This is our demo shop Merchant Center account. And I'm going to go down to settings, which sometimes it's closed, but here I'm going to open it. Access and security, or access and services rather. And here I am as a admin in here also. There's some cases where you won't be an admin here in Merchant Center, that is merchants.google.com. You might be an admin in the Business Manager. I'll show you what that is briefly. So this is Business Manager, and if you do the same thing here, people and access, you'll see that I'm a super admin with that email. In fact, let me zoom in. So I'm a super admin here, which means I can see the Merchant Center account here. So if you don't see the Merchant Center account here, check your Business Manager and you'll have to make yourself a super admin. And if you're not using a Business Manager account, you can just ignore that step completely as long as you're in here as an admin. All right, that aside, I'm going to click connect. If you don't have a Merchant Center account, you can click create new, and that's fine, but I'll click connect. If you have an old Merchant Center account, you can also create a new one as long as you haven't been using that old one. And what'll happen is it will switch the verification of the website from your old Merchant Center to the new one. And again, if you're not using the old one, it's totally fine to just make a new one and let the new one take ownership of the domain. All right, so I've done all this already because my store is already set up. I'm just going to click confirm here. If you haven't done any of those steps, you'll have to finish them first. And I'd suggest signing up for these if you're new to Merchant Center so you can learn more about it. I'm going to untick them, and I'll agree. And next I'm going to do the Google Analytics property. And Google Analytics, same thing. Here's our Google Analytics account. I'm an admin here. I won't even show you that. If you check out the access, you'll see that you're an admin. If you're not, you'll have to make yourself an admin. And all you need to do here is just double check. This is our demo shop that we're connecting today. I'm checking that this measurement ID ending with VEF7 is the one that I'm connecting to here. So I don't want that one. I want this one because it ends with VEF7. So I'm going to connect that. And again, you can create a new account, but I don't need to do that. If you've already set up a GA4 account and a Google Ads account, you likely won't need to edit these. These are the tags that are associated with my Google Analytics account, the GA4 account. I'm going to confirm them. 90% of the time, you're not going to have to manage tags, so I'll skip that. Well, I'll click confirm is what I'll do. I won't skip that. Okay, and then the YouTube channel, this I will skip because that's not something I need to do right now, so I'm going to skip. And then I'll click complete setup. Now that Google Merchant Center and Google Analytics are connected, we can move on to the final step, which is setting up the Google Ads account. Even though this says drive more sales with Performance Max, it doesn't say set up conversion tracking. That's really what we're doing. I'm still going to click get started. This is just how the workflow works as of May of 2026 when I'm recording this. Okay, so I'm going to find my Google Ads account. So it's the one ending in 9162. And I'll check here. 9162, that's the right account. So I'll click connect. And the next step is where we're going to send all those conversions over. Here they are. So in Shopify on the left, these are Shopify names for these events. So checkout completed, checkout started, added to cart, etc. We're going to send all those over. And now note some of these are really soft conversions. They're not really conversions at all. Page viewed. That's not really an important conversion to send over, but it's going to be sent over as a secondary conversion, which means that this conversion, just like I showed at the beginning of this video, is going to end up here as a page view, but it's not counting the conversions column, which is what we want. We just want to see or observe, really, the conversions, and I can see that here. Essentially, a page view is a view of any page, so a click leads to a page view. We'll probably see a similar number of clicks as page views. The more helpful secondary conversions to look at are add to cart, begin checkout. Anyway, we're sending all of those. So I'm going to click confirm. And now if I click back on this step, I can see the names of all of the conversion events that are getting sent over. So checkout completed in Shopify, that event translates to Google Shopping App Purchase. That's the name of it in Google Ads. Now this is done already. Even though I haven't finished the process, these should show up in our Google Ads account. So let me go here, and then I'm going to go to Goals, Conversions, Summary. Okay, there we go. So if you scroll down, you'll see the events. And then if you click on the small drop down on the far right of each row, you'll see the actual conversions. So Google Shopping App Purchase is sent in. And I've also got the add to cart sent in, and it's added as a secondary conversion, and that's correct. Note that because there was already a Google Shopping App add to cart conversion in here, this new one that I'm adding has a 1 in parentheses appended to the back of it so that we can have a different name for the new ones that are sent in. So you might see that with your first one as well. If you've already sent in conversions with this name and you resend them, they'll just be sent in again, but with a number appended to the back of them. So that's okay. That's what I was expecting to see. So I'm good here. And I'll click confirm. And now I don't have to create a campaign here. This is the last step. I'm just going to skip it. So I'm going to click over here on Google and YouTube again. All right. And I can see that Google Ads is active. And if I click on settings, I can go back and review those conversions that have been set up. If I go down to data sharing and tag management, click on conversion measurement, actually click on additional conversion measurement settings. And if I click on conversion event settings, I can see all of those again. Now, the rest of this should have happened automatically, but you'll want to double check that enhanced conversions is on, and that is on in this case. You can turn it off if you need to. Here in the United States, we can generally send enhanced conversion data over without much fuss, but if you're in a European country, you might need to turn this off for a while to get set up to comply with privacy policies. Last one, customer match. You can set this up also, but generally if you're running a Shopify store, you're going to be using an email delivery platform like Klaviyo or Omnisend, and those platforms will send audiences from Shopify into Google Ads, and in that case you don't really need this. But if you're not using any of those platforms, you can set this up as well. But for our purposes in this video, we're all set because now we have the shopping app purchase, which is set to primary, meaning it'll be recorded in the conversions and conversion value column, and that'll inform smart bidding. And then all these other ones are set to secondary, which means they'll show up in the all conversions and all conversion value column, and they'll be there for us to observe, but they won't be calculated and added up into the return on ad spend, which is your conversion value divided by cost column. Before you get any conversions, you're going to see misconfigured, and that's because these haven't received any events yet. So if I go back to the top one and I mouse over inactive, you can see Google's advising us that it might take up to 3 hours for a conversion to show up. And so you'll have to wait until there's a conversion that takes place on your website that originated from a Google Ads interaction. If someone clicks on your Google ad or interacts with a Google ad, and then they make a purchase, you'll see that conversion here. But if someone makes a purchase via an organic visit to your website or a visit from a Facebook ad to your website, those won't count here because they're not originating from a Google Ads interaction. So if you see inactive, which you will, at least initially, just be patient, wait for a conversion to accrue. And the nice thing about what we've done here by adding all these secondary conversions, like an add to cart or even a page view, is that a page view is going to happen much quicker than a purchase conversion. And so you can see that the tag is active much sooner if you check out some of these soft conversions like page views or view items. All right, and now I'm going to share an example of what these should look like once you have data. So I'll pause the video and then I'll bring up an example. Here's a Google Ads account that has had conversion tracking set up for a while now, and so there's data to check. I'll click on this drop down in the purchase section, and then I'll mouse over the active status, and I can see that this one has recorded conversions as of today. I can see that enhanced conversions are active, consent mode is active, and then cart data could be improved. These last two, consent mode and then cart data, those are different topics, so I'll skip over those for now. But I can see that this is working. However, there's other conversions here like add to cart that show as misconfigured. The reason for that, well, there's two things really. Needs attention is showing here under status, and the warning here is that enhanced conversions are not working. What enhanced conversions are, it's user data from someone who's been to your website, and it's their email and phone number specifically, and potentially other information about them. Enhanced conversion data is what Google uses to get around the loss of cookie data. So if Google sees that a user with a certain email and phone number that are known to Google, then Google can match that person with the click that happened on your website. And so add to cart, that doesn't include an opportunity for the customer to put in their email and phone number. And so there's no way for us to send enhanced conversion data here. So this is a false flag. We don't need to address that. And then if I hover over misconfigured, this is just saying that there's no conversion within the add to cart bucket. I like to think of these as buckets. All these different rows are like buckets of conversion types. So add to cart, misconfigured. There's nothing in here that's a primary conversion action. And so it's always going to say misconfigured. We don't really need to worry about that because I don't want to make an add to cart a primary conversion action because I don't want it to show up in the conversions column. However, if I scroll down to another conversion, for example, this add payment info, this is a stage at which the customer will have put in their email and phone number. And so if I hover over this active status, I see that enhanced conversions is active. And that's because at this stage, Shopify actually has the contact info to send over to Google Ads. But for all these other ones, these just aren't going to have any enhanced conversion action data. This one, I actually don't honestly know why the app search has enhanced conversion data, but nevertheless, these are fine as is. We don't need to worry about these. We just need to make sure that the purchase conversion is set up and working, and it is. So we're done in this case. All right, hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and then check out the link in the description if you'd like a guide. On all of our guides, we publish a written version, which is what I have here. So you can follow along step by step. You'll just go to our website, fill out an email form to join our mailing list, and then we'll send you this guide and then all of our other guides that we produce for Google Ads, Google Merchant Center, and strategy and tip videos for digital marketing. All right, thanks for watching, and good luck advertising.